Now that was military expert Ron Alido, and that was his perspective on the situation on ground. Let's shift our focus for now. Lebanon's health ministry says Israeli strikes on the country's east, including the main city of Baalbek, have killed at least 40 people, with rescuers still looking for survivors under the rubble. The toll includes 11 people killed in the city of Baalbek, 9 of them in the Shikan district, that's a densely packed Sunni neighborhood in the Shiite majority city, where the Iran-backed Hezbollah group holds sway. The city's famed Palmyra hostel has also been damaged in nearby strikes, with the health ministry reporting 2 people being killed there. The ministry said Israeli strikes killed 16 people in the village of Nasiriyah. Furthermore, at least 82 people have been killed in Israeli strikes in the Syrian city of Palmyra. The death toll is the highest due to Israeli raids on pro-Iran groups in Syria since the war broke out in 2011. Meanwhile, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has termed a decision by the International Criminal Court to issue a warrant to arrest him for alleged war crimes as anti-Semitic. He described Thursday's decision as a dark day in the history of nations, vowing that measures will not prevent him from continuing to defend Israel.
This is an anti-Semitic measure that has one goal: to deter us from exercising our natural right to defend ourselves against our enemies who rise up against us to destroy us.
In their decision, the ICC judges said there were reasonable grounds to believe Netanyahu and his former defense minister Yoav Gallant were criminally responsible for acts including murder, persecution and starvation as a weapon of war as part of a widespread and systemic attack against the civilian population of Gaza. The court also issued an arrest warrant for Hamas military wing chief Mohammad Deif, who Israel said was killed in an airstrike last July. US President Joe Biden called the International Criminal Court's arrest warrants for top Israeli leaders outrageous. In a statement, he said, "The United States will always stand with Israel against threats to its security," and added that there is no equivalence between Israel and Hamas. The White House said it fundamentally rejected the calls for arrest.
We fundamentally reject the court's decision to issue arrest warrants for senior Israel officials. We remain deeply concerned by the prosecutor's rush to seek arrest warrants and the troubling process errors that led to this decision. The United States has been clear that the ICC does not have jurisdiction over this matter.
Now, the International Criminal Court in the Netherlands does not have its own police force to carry out these arrests. Instead, it relies on its member states with only limited diplomatic means to force them if they do not wish to carry out the arrests. Netanyahu's travel to the United States will remain unaffected as both Israel and the US are not signatories to the Rome Statute, the treaty that established the ICC. However, UK government, as one of the court's prominent member states, will be in a difficult position if Netanyahu pays a visit. Meanwhile, Dutch foreign minister has made it clear that Netanyahu will be arrested if he were to set foot on Dutch soil. In other development, US envoy Amos Hochstein met with Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz and IDF Chief Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi in Tel Aviv. Hochstein, the Biden administration's point man on Israel and Lebanon, has been working to push the sides towards agreement and meeting this week with officials in Lebanon and Israel. On Wednesday, Israeli officials demanded the freedom to strike Lebanon's Hezbollah as part of any ceasefire deal, raising a potential complication. While Hezbollah leader Naim Qassem said the Lebanese militant group supports the ongoing negotiations, but has some reservations and in fact rejects a provision for freedom of movement for Israeli troops in Lebanon. And for more on this, our correspondent Jody Cohen has sent us this report from Ra'anana. Listen to this.
The International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants for Prime Minister Netanyahu and former Defence Minister Yoav Gallant. Now, these are for alleged war crimes, including murder and starvation. There is absolute outrage across the political spectrum in Israel. Some coalition members have already responded, calling the decision anti-Semitic and saying that Israel is simply defending its citizens. Members of the opposition have also been slamming the ICC decision, calling it a reward for terrorism. And President Herzog has said that this is a black day for justice and humanity. Now, this is the first time that the International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants for leaders of democratic countries. Israel says that Hamas hides behind civilians, that Israel gives warning to civilians, and that any other country would do the same to protect their people. This is Jodie Cohen for WION World is One.
For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.